Positive reinforcement, yay! And I mean it. Cool. So here we are. Last time we learned, we learned some note names. We're not adding any new ones today, except for we learned what an octave shape looks like. For instance, that this is the note A here, where our pentatonic pattern from last time started, A, and so is this. Those are both not on the string right beneath it, adjacent, but down a string 2 frets over, however you're doing it, those are 2 A's, as in, cool. And then we learned, so these are 2 G's. Now we learned the G major scale today, and played a group that's on the G major scale. So instead of getting oriented around our index finger like we did last time, our first note's going to be a middle finger, but we're going to be using all 4 fingers. So 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. Be sure your elbow's not against your body or it'll feel all over there. Cool. And, we're going. And then extra notes. That's what we're just, if we were like grooving here on our instrument, the major scale ends there. But then there's these, so we can totally. So it's like on a piano, it just goes, you hit these ones and you're done. Extra notes up there. So this is the same thing. We're just. And I can hit these too. But in our groove this week, we're just playing in the part of our world. So we got this concept of a ghost note. Over here on your right hand, you're favoring your middle finger a lot. So just try a couple ghost notes. Doesn't matter what finger you use or what fret over here. Just go ahead. So the first one, as you'll remember, is just like you're touching the string, and then you fret. Same finger, just, I touched the string, then I push down, and we're going to go first finger, second finger, 1, 2, until further notified. There'll be situations where we do it with the same finger or in the other order, but right now we're picking stuff where it says linear, as all your ghost, then note combinations are going to go. Ba-dum, ba-dum, like that. Anyway, so we've got this thing, the major scale, that you're going to get good at, and no seesawing, meaning it doesn't go. If we're pushing this note down, we do something up here, it's going to matter. If we do something back here, it's not. We've cut the string off there. The reason it became a higher note then is that we made the string that long by pushing it down, so that this metal thing makes it that long. The string has become shorter, the pitch has become higher. Point is that it visually would seem intuitive to go like doing that, like leaving these fingers would interfere with this note. It's the opposite. We're just going to be like, I'm putting down 1 finger, now 2 fingers, now 3 fingers. Cool. So, second fret position, but then you're stepping with your middle finger this time rather than like last time with your first finger. And then some more. And there's our octave thing in there. So just pause your video and get good at playing that scale. Don't worry about the right hand part first. Now that you are able to go, and you're probably just picking with your middle finger the whole way, now try to alternate pick through it, which is going to be literally alternating fingers the whole way. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and that'll be pretty time consuming right there. Also, when you're doing that, totally play out of rhythm. Just allow for the memorization part where you have to consciously think about what you're doing. But yeah. And it doesn't go that we always alternate pick, but there would never be a downside to doing it that way. Interesting side note, James Jamerson famously did everything with 1 finger. So it's like all the that would not be optimal, nor are we him. But yeah, all these like crazy things that people can't do with 3 fingers, he just did with 1 finger, which is interesting. Anyway, so there's that. Just get really good at playing that scale. And then down at the bottom of the page, I moved it. This is D. I moved it over there, and it's the same exact hand movement. And there's 2 Ds, so that'd be the case anywhere. So last, just kind of getting our bearings. Last week we did the A minor pentatonic, which was like this angular. There's the octave. And the major scale. So now it's like if your world goes around any note, I can play the major scale, which sounds like apple pie and bread. Or I can play this. Pattern.
It's really amazing. I really never knew all this.
Oh yeah. Well, you're not meant to. Well, here you are in your music lesson.
Okay.
Cool. So at about 5:30 in your video, we start talking about the actual song. It's cool. I'm just fucking with you. In the actual groove that we learned to play. Here's the whole thing first. Excuse me. So we're going to work on the first half, and like I wrote on the page, initially don't worry about what finger you use right now. If you end up using all your middle finger, it's okay. So we're going to skip, the major scale went. We're going to just leave out that second note when we're playing this riff, left-hand overview as it goes. So just do that real quick, and now we're going to be adding the ghost notes. So we're ghosting on the second and fourth notes. So it's just note, click, play, note, click, play, note, click, note, note, click, note. So that's what we're doing in the first half. So just get all kinds of good at that. Just left hand focused. And now having done that, let's include the right hand part. So we're going, and it's on the page. It says 1, 2, and so forth. So we're going 1, 1, 2, excuse me, 1, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. So we're just making all of our ghost note combinations. First finger, second finger. So, and we deliberately made it left hand gets comfortable first so that we can have adequate focus to pay attention to this. Great. So second half goes. And here's where we introduce the octave shape. Whatever fingers we're using for it. Like not on adjacent strings, but those are both G's, and that works everywhere. And we've heard like songs that go like, that's somebody playing in octaves, what is that, flashlight or something? Anyway, so there's one in octave. And if we look at it's in both of the scales that we learned, cool. The second half goes. So we started with that octave up note instead on purpose, just to emphasize, hey, look, there it is. So rather was. So this time we are going to ghost on the lowest note, though we didn't the first time in the second half, where we go. So there's our second half. There we are. So boom, ba-dum, dum, ba-dum, dim, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum. And then when you get good at that, move it to D, which is going to be the same exact stuff. It's just going to be like pretend that the lowest string on your instrument doesn't exist, and you're going, right there. And all of our scales move around like that. Sounds like that there. D major scale. This is C. C major scale. And G major scale. C pentatonic. Cool, so those are a couple scales we know. And just poking at the big picture, this is C. Just to play Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do in the same octave as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Different ways to do it, and just to get literally the same series of notes in the same octave. This is just the easiest one out of all of them, so that's why we're starting with this, but the big picture is you'll be playing more scales. This will just be the first major scale pattern you learned, will be this one, which is the first one that everybody learns, because it's easier to play than all the other ones I was just doing. But also, it's kind of just like, it also just sort of goes, we're playing the major scale here, and it goes like that. I'm just poking at the big picture in the grand scheme of things. And then if you get to the end of that, try to mess around and do like hybrid pentatonic major scale stuff. Just fuck around. You know it's gonna be like. Just try to like picture every single note I could hit is like. And you know, expect this to go badly. If you like. But if that's like, wait, and your brain falls out your ear, no big deal. We've got the stuff from last time, and now we're. Excuse me. And there you are. Good stuff. So then, last week's stuff, the minor pentatonic. Let's work on going every single string. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If we didn't emphasize that last time. And that scale is really easy to learn because it's just the 2 notes per string. So you're just doing the same thing every string. Good job. Alrighty.